According to this comment I received, Cleopatra invented the vibrator. No, she didn't. But for entertainment purposes, let's hear them out. It wasn't the vibrator that we know and love today. It was a hollowed out gourd filled with angry bees. Don't try this at home, we're trying to save the bees now. Not to worry, trust me. It wasn't on my to-do list, so my immediate thoughts were, this sounds like a reblog from a niche Tumblr page from about 10 years ago, but I did a Google and it's not. It's a mainstay of did you know articles from around the interwebs. Even unassuming Gizmodo, an Australian technology news website, spoke of it as being true, and then I thought surely this must be some Roman propaganda. To demonstrate the debauchery and the depravity of this decadent Eastern queen, they accused her of the very shameful act of self-pleasure, which is made even worse due to the employ of non-humans. This is of course in contrast to the brave and the battle-hardened Roman leaders like Augustus. However, I was completely wrong. It turns out this wasn't ancient slander, rather it was the result of third-wave feminism designed to empower Cleopatra. The story was dreamt up by American psychologist and sexologist Brenda Love in 1992 in her allegedly landmark book, The Encyclopedia of Unusual Sexual Practices. I decided to rent the book from the Internet Archive to confirm, and all I will say on the matter is, I saw things I cannot now unsee. While I've got you here, let's address something else that the comments spoke of. Also, a lot of those historians aren't saying by today's standards they were freaky, they were talking about the standards of the time. There's a bit of truth here. Cleopatra did associate herself with Aphrodite and Isis, the goddesses of fertility, but we need to understand that ancient Greece and Rome were cultures who were very suspicious of powerful women, and the classical archetype used to explain their power is the evil seductress, charming men to achieve their mischievous schemes, and the easiest way to fuel this narrative is to simply accuse them of doing heinous sexual acts. Think of Olympias, mother of Alexander the Great. She was accused of sleeping with snakes. Think Theodora, wife of Justinian the Great, and one of the greatest women of Roman history. Procopius, in the secret histories written to discredit the couple, accused her of regularly wearing out dozens of lovers every night. She also enjoyed serving homosexuals and slaves who wanted some backdoor action. And thus with Cleopatra, Roman authors were able to turn Cleopatra's branding of herself against her, creating an exaggerated version. Poets like Propertius described her as a promiscuous, transgressive woman, an abomination who slept with slaves. He talked about how Cleopatra obviously couldn't rule in her own right. She had to instead usurp masculine authority using dark witch-like powers. And it's in thanks to Caesar Augustus for restoring the natural order of things. Later in Christian times, Cleopatra's depravity became even more exaggerated, for she became another Eve-like example against the warnings of powerful women. The 19th century Calvinist Michael Golkust, for example, wrote the story of Mark Antony allegedly saying that Cleopatra had visited a late-night establishment, slept with over 100 men, and still wasn't satisfied. You might be asking at this point, why have these misogynistic slanders gained so much attraction recently? Well, as third and fourth wave feminism became entrenched in society, one's sex life, particularly if you're a woman, became something public, something to be proud of, and became an identity. Cleopatra, Egyptian queen who used her sexuality to conquer men in the patriarchal Roman age and allegedly broke all the social taboos, became the poster pinup for the empowered women of the modern age. Do you have any ideas why she's suddenly becoming so popular? Let me know in the comments below.